It's the fucking crazy people that you have to worry about, which is why you lock your car. Pear mint pasta. So the recipe, I guess, if you need or want it, 1 or 2 lemons, 1 mini bottle of champagne, 1 mini thing of heavy cream, 1 chicken breast. It's delightful and it's super easy. You familiar with this term, mise en place?
Yes.
In its place, doctors and scientists all use Greek, right? In culinary, we use French, because our origins are, from Escoffier. Google Escoffier. Tell you everything you want to know about the crazy old. And just with the lighting, it looked like there was a really gnarly dark spot on here, but that's not real. I just want people at home to know that it's just this weird greenish light. We're not, in fact, using rotten chicken. Promise. And I'm gonna butterfly this. Meat is muscle, right? That's the part of the animal that you're eating. It's not an organ. It's not, there's sometimes skin, and your muscles are attached to you in certain ways. So, well, next I'm gonna wash this chicken off my hands. Not with that sponge, but yeah. You need a new sponge, buddy. It's time. I used to boil my sponges or throw them in the microwave for a little bit to just kind of kill all the bacteria and refresh them. Meat side meat, but we're gonna do the opposite. And also, obviously, I should have started with the vegetables and then done the meat last.
What happened?
I'm an idiot. When I go to culinary school, it's kind of a bitch because they take rulers to your cuts. So this classically would be a 32nd of an inch. Mine's not going to be that fine, but you just kind of want this very fine confetti. You roll your leaves up nice and tight. That's where you get this kind of fluffy little ribbons. I don't know, is that seasoning or is that a coating that it came with?
Can it be both?
No.
How often do you use your calculator watch?
I have an alarm on it, which is very handy, and my fingers are a little bit big to really operate it for full calculating functionality, but
So is it more of an aesthetic choice?
definitely, and it's it's waterproof and not expensive, so I don't really have to worry about it. I don't have to take it off at work.
Under what circumstances do you imagine you'd need to do some simple math underwater?
You don't know until you're in the situation. You want to be prepared. Obviously, in a perfect world, you'd use chicken stock or, bone broth or something. But what we have to work with is chicken bouillon to life. You need to follow their recipe because they've already done all this legwork. They've done all the hard part. So don't screw with their stuff. But if it's your own little kind of thing, or if you just kind of want to play with it, it's really hard to, cooking is not as hard as everyone thinks it is. It's just food. Another thing that I kind of assumed you would have here is butter. Is that? Ooh.
What do we do without butter?
Well, I've started using these mouse balls because you need to agitate this cream, right? Like make whipped cream, but like with whipped cream, you put a spring or something in there and shake it up, like if you're making the cream for Irish coffees or something like that. Oh, sorry, look at the camera. Sorry everybody. As the cream starts to thicken, it gets heavier and then the spring stops moving, but you need to agitate it further. So you need something with weight that can move through that whipped cream to turn it to the next stage, which is the butter, right? I tried it with, I had glass corks, I tried it with metal ball bearings, and those of course smash the glass. But if you don't use glass, then you can't really see how far along you are because you need to see that, you'll see the buttermilk separate from the rest of the milk fat solids, and that's the milk solid, that's your butter. So it has to be glass. So then I found the old school mouse balls. Computer mice used to have this rubberized metal ball bearing. So the rubber keeps the metal from smashing the glass. And so I've gone around town. I have a new town I'm moving to that I can start harvesting again because I think I've gotten all of the mouse balls out of Sonoma, California, and given them to my friends. And we're just gonna do this for like 10 minutes. Do you have a strainer? Colander strainer? This because it was actually your mom who saw our videos last year when we were making all those compound butters. What about all the buttermilk? That's how you get buttermilk. Like, great, like what? Who uses buttermilk? Like buttermilk biscuits, buttermilk pancakes? There, get out of the string.
And what is this technique of flicking the butter on the other side called? Is there
Flicking like that? I don't know, I think I probably learned it from one of my sisters. Like, flicking me in the head. Throw this in your freezer.
What is it?
I don't know, maybe it's pieces of your pan. It's a little black fleck. Again, I don't like to measure things. I measure with my heart. If it feels wrong, don't do it. There are different components in the dish, the chicken and the pear, right? And then you're gonna have the pasta. So ostensibly when you put a bite in your mouth, you might only get some pasta and some chicken. You won't get any pear, or pear and chicken and no pasta, or some combination of the three. And you want all three to have slightly different flavors, so the whole thing isn't homogeneous. You don't want it, I mean, we could, you're right, take this whole dish when we're done and puree it, and just eat it like a soup. And every mouthful will be exactly the same consistency. You won't even have to chew it, and every mouth will be the same flavor, you know? So you want some difference. So we cook the pear in the champagne, and then we cook the chicken in the chicken stock, right? So the pear is gonna have some of the chicken stock, but it's not gonna have, you know, as much exposure to the champagne, right? So it's not gonna be as, you know, that. So now we're gonna put the pasta in here, and we're gonna hit it with the mint. Now everything's gonna have the mint flavor a little bit, but the pasta will be the most vehicle-ish, like it will have the least amount of flavor, if that makes any sense, which you kind of want. I mean, you don't want bland, but like, yeah, does that make any sense? That you want each layer to have a slightly different flavor set, so that the dish is dynamic. Maybe I'm full of It's kind of like cream in your coffee. If you put a little cream in there, it cools the coffee down, doesn't it? So when we are done cooking, we're gonna hit this with butter. Bind the last bits of the dish, kind of add a textural velvetiness to it. And it's gonna kind of cool the dish and make the sauce set. Just gonna give it one of these until you start glistening a little bit. If you have any friends out there, you should buy them large saute pans, like a really nice, good sized skillet, just in case the off chance arises and they need to cook for more than one person.
Do you have a brand you like?
I sure don't. Something for Johnny to clean later. Mint in there. And if you can't flip and fold without it splashing everywhere, then your sauce is too watery, right?
You seem like a flip and fold pro.
Practice, just play with it. Just play with your food. It's the only way you're gonna learn. I'm gonna turn this way down. We have our fresh, unsalted butter. Normally I would never cook with unsalted butter, but I didn't have time to salt it. I didn't even think about salting it.
Let's see that butter.
So normally I would have tongs that I'd be trying to do this with. One of the main reasons that I like to measure with my heart is so that I have leftovers. I like to have a little extra. Put a little mint sprig in there. Cheers, buddy. Cranberry lime. I like it.
Oh God, that's not food.